Hello and welcome to the Best Champions podcast. I, as always, am your host. Did I not get it? Did I not get it in time? Oh, I'm good. Welcome to the Best Champions podcast. I, as always, am your host, Mike Masilotti. This is a podcast about everything with friends who know nothing. I sit down with comics and we talk about a bunch of shit, go on a bunch of tangents and callbacks, basically talk about whatever makes us laugh. As always, on the ones and twos, we got Rashad. Give it up for Rashad, everybody. And then around the horn, we got Monarey, we got Michael, we got Willie. Monarey Martinez, where can people find you?
On Instagram, I am Monarey, MMONAREYM. And Twitter's the same.
Twitter's the same. Evans?
At Michael Evans, LOL on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram.
Bong bong. Willie Simon.
You can find me at Willie Simon _ That's Willie with an IE, not a Y, because I had to change it after I turned 10.
What do you mean?
Because, like, the Y is, like, such a childish thing.
It is.
I mean, like, the IE is, like, I'm a man, but I'm still named Willie.
Right.
How about EIGH?
Willie.
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 That's not bad.
Yeah, I do that.
Well, anyway.
Willard. It's like
Will
lay
and-
and when what Mike calls me then.
What does Mike call you?
He says Willard.
No, do I call you Willard?
Yeah, you do.
But
Oh.
you're William, right? Maybe
Yeah.
you just
Yeah,
graduate
yeah.
to William one day.
Someday.
That's like when I like go to law school
to
or
Europe.
something like that. You know,
You
If
go
I
to
go to-
Europe.
yeah. No,
That's-
if I go to Europe, I'll be Liam.
Aha.
What does your ID say? Does it say Willie or does it say William?
It says William.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Because some people are like their name on their ID is like the nickname,
Right.
which is kind of weird. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
mine said Mike instead of Michael.
Ah.
That's like a whole thing.
It doesn't say Mike, it says Michael?
Did
Yeah.
my
Does anybody call you
stepmom-
Michael?
I don't know.
You don't feel like a Michael.
I don't feel
I don't
like-
feel like a Mike.
Yeah.
I used to call you Mike, and you're like, that's not my name.
It just doesn't sound right. It sounds like a guy who rides a street bike, like a sport bike, street bike.
Yeah, right.
How
Yeah.
crazy is this? I was hanging out with my best friend growing up. His name was Jonathan. Like my whole life, like this kid was awesome. And then one day, like we'd hang out, like, yo, John. And his mom yelled at me, and she's like, "He's not John, he's Jonathan," because his father was named John, and she hates his guts now.
Oh,
Hit
wow.
her. I was like, he used to hit her.
Yeah.
So this kid's Jonathan for the rest of his life.
Oh,
like
man.
he cannot go to John, or his mom would be so like, you know how brutal that is. You have to stick with Jonathan.
Yeah.
Dude, that's way longer.
You got to wear an
Jonathan's
ascot all the time. you're always just combing your hair over again and again and again. Jonathan's such a soft way to go. That's-
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor Thomas. That's immediately what I think of. And I'm
Ooh,
Wow.
JTT.
JTT.
What happened to him?
Wow. How do you think he looks now?
Pull it up.
He looked like Brother Bear back in the day, kind of. You
Bro,
know?
he was like the heartthrob. Like I think him and Joey Lawrence. I think
Yeah,
were the.
Joey Lawrence and who was.
Why aren't there any young men balding heartthrobs?
Good, Mike. You're the next one.
They all have gray hair.
What about Chad Michael Murray? Did he just have a
He's
buzz
from
cut?
Buffalo.
He's from
Sorry.
Buffalo?
Who's that?
Cool.
He was from One Tree Hill. He was like a heartthrob. He was on.
Was he
Freaky
bald?
Friday with-
Yeah, buzz cut. And it was blonde, so it looked pretty thin.
Yeah. But he was dreamy. I served him one time at the W, and I had to pretend like I didn't know who he was because I was freaking the fuck out.
Wow.
And I was like serving him. I was like, "Oh, what do you do for work?" And like everybody's looking at me like, "Do you not know?"
He gets all mad. He's
Yeah.
like, what the fuck?
I was just so nervous. I had to pretend like I just didn't know who he was.
Like, I'm super cool.
Yeah.
Who are you?
I read books. Well, I don't watch TV. Do you need anything to drink? And he was like, "You know who I am, bitch." You know.
Yeah, I can't.
There
meet-
was a kid I went to high school with who was named Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, 'cause he was a Micronesian kid. And
Dude,
like,
tell him about the Micronesians. This is the funniest shit I've ever heard in my life.
Wait,
It's,
are there big Nesians and then Micronesians?
Yeah, the medium Nesians.
No, it's Macronesians
Macro.
and Micronesians. Big Nesians.
I was like, I'm a Nesian. This is a Micronesian. He's a lot shorter than us.
But so Micronesians would in like the 50s we like nuked Micronesia like fucking crazy. And so in order to like pay them back, we were like, you can come to America, but you can only come to Hawaii.
Wait.
Like they're not like allowed to like leave Hawaii like
pretty
at
amazing,
first,
though.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you can only come to the
the
most
place.
beautiful
Yeah, the
place.
place
Yeah.
where everybody gets proposed to or goes on a honeymoon.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
mean,
And they're from Ireland, so it's like close, I guess, you know. But they like hear about America and you're like, I want to give my kid an American name. And so they name their kid like Michael Jordan, one word. Because after Michael Jordan, then you're like, all right, well, we want an American last name. We're going to go with Michael Jordan again.
Oh, wait, so they can
wow.
change their first and there's no lineage in Micronesia.
Yeah, well, I mean, when they come to America, they're like, I want to assimilate. So they name their
But
kid
you
Michael
would
Jordan,
think
Michael Jordan.
Somebody in the office would be like, hey, it's got to be two separate names.
It's probably like Micronesians in the office too. You're like, oh, Michael Jordan. That's a great
Thanks,
name.
Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Thanks, Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Hey, was anybody else just acting like they knew Micronesia was a country?
I know. I've heard of it before.
I'm
but I didn't
still
know it was
not
a
even
country.
Like I heard this story a year or two ago, but I still don't get it. That's its own country, Micronesia. Like it's a country. What's the capital?
It's like 3 different countries, but it's just called Micronesia. I don't know anything else about it.
Is it like the Netherlands? Or wait, the Netherlands is a country?
I think the Netherlands is a country.
Hold on, what's the one that's like the term for all of that up there?
Oh,
Europe?
Yeah, sort of. It's one of those.
But it's like
I know what you
Denmark
mean.
and
Scandinavia.
Yeah.
Mike!
You know what it is? Because everybody's just like, when I watch all those things about like, how dope is America really? And everyone's like, Scandinavia. That's all I hear is Scandinavia. So you guys think America's doing it right? Scandinavia. I hear that so much. So that's the reason I know. I don't know what it
you're
means.
like, because there's like 1 million people in your country,
Right.
and they all look the same, and they all have the same religion. You're like, duh.
Yeah.
It's very easy for you guys to work
They're all
together.
kind of related a little.
Yeah, why don't y'all just relax? Like, we'd relax too. No adversity. No, they all look the same. They're all like white and good looking.
Right.
Yeah,
Like, they all
like the
They all
Nazis
get
back
paid
then.
well.
Yeah, they all kind of eugenics their way to a successful society.
Yeah,
That's
Fuck
how
you.
Sweden is too. Like Sweden and Germany, they're like, well, in Sweden. I'm like, Germany, let's calm down because we all remember what happened with you guys. And in Sweden, same thing. It's like, yeah, you guys all look the same. You guys all get paid well. You have winter half the year. It's like you're gonna work hard.
But
Yeah.
our developmentally disabled numbers very low, yeah?
We eat waffles for breakfast, yeah?
Oh man. Well, we were talking about this a little earlier when we were talking about the IDs. I kind of wanted to talk about this. So, basically, I lost my ID. I was letting them know, and then I had to go get a new one. I got a Washington license. I'm in California now. Not super easy. You figure I can just, hey, this is my old. But they didn't see the old one. I lost it. But in the system, it should be in the fucking system. I don't understand that. I'm like, you don't have the physical one. It's like, well, you guys have the digital one.
Yeah.
Like, it's harder to.
You printed it up.
Like,
Yeah.
You guys just cut me loose with this and toss the paperwork? That seems stupid.
Yeah,
Why
so-
don't you got any record keeping around there?
They had to hit up Sacramento to get the records of my driving records or whatever. So I'm like, okay, this seems like a third party we don't need in this.
You're like,
Right.
hey, I'm from Washington. I came from
Yeah.
Oh yeah, shout out Nan. She says go Buffalo, probably because of
Oh
you.
yeah.
But then so I went out there. I went to go get my ID. I get all my transcripts back, and then basically they're like, well, just reapply for a new California license. So I started doing I had to do the eye test. I was letting them know my left eye is not the best. So the eye test was very hard. Like barely passed it. Finally passed this eye test. Feeling great. Like I'm about to get my license. I had to pay like $250. Didn't have it at the time. So I was like, I'll come back and pay this later.
Can you drive still?
I physically yes.
Physically, I'm able.
I can drive physically right now. I'm just hoping I don't get pulled over. But so it's just funny because then like months go by and like I'm never gonna have this money to get in. Like at this point in my life, I'm just rocking my passport. I don't care. Elliot buys my girlfriend's car off of her months ago. He hits me up last week.
A Volkswagen?
Subaru.
Man, I don't know who's driving what. Sorry.
I know, right? You should know.
Onward.
You
My
should-
bad. Not worth it.
It's all good. But, well, basically, he goes, yo, there's a wallet in this car. Someone dropped a wallet in here. And I thought it was an old purse. Like, oh, let's figure this out. It's my wallet from a year ago with my Washington license in it.
But now it's expired.
But the problem is, this is like when your seat goes forward and backwards.
Yeah.
The wallet is shoved in between there, and we cannot get it out.
Wait,
It's jammed.
really?
It is jammed in this guy's chair, and I can see my ID, the ridge of it, and it's just wedged so hard, bro. Like we're gonna need to unscrew this entire chair.
It's like a 147 hours thing with your wallet.
Yeah.
You got pliers and shit.
Bro,
It's like you can see it. It's here, but you
Or
can't
do
have
you know
it
a
for real.
child with small hands?
Well, the
Like,
child won't be able to grip it and pull as hard.
Has Non given it a shot?
The child won't be able to grip it and
Yeah,
pull
very
as
small
hard.
hands. Yeah.
How big is your wallet? Is it like paper?
No, it's one of those tiny ones, but that's why it slid in between. Bro, it's like where the seat.
It's a good promo for Ridge Wallet, really.
Great promo for this wallet. But yeah, so now if I do get pulled over, I just got to be like, yo, officer. How
I have it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, if
Call
you want to dig
Elliot.
around.
Yeah.
He's like, Mr. Masilotti, I'm over here. He's just like looking straight off into nothing.
He's
Just have
like,
a video of someone just being like, like trying to like
showing
reach
you
over
this
and
is my
over.
wallet.
Yeah, like I can't.
But basically, yeah, if I was driving that car, I feel like I could tell the cop. He pulls me over. Maybe that's how I get my wallet back. Is I ask the cop, like, "Hey, man, you need to get this out of here for me.
Yeah.
This is the proof I'm."
I
You
have
know, a
a
good
case for you
mechanic
to
maybe
solve.
I could talk to.
Yeah, so that's my ID's still wedged under the chair. It's on my to-do list, but I just haven't figured out how to unscrew
Well,
this.
at least you know that it's there.
At least I know that, and now I don't have to go to the DMV and deal with this eye test again.
I think you do.
Yeah, I think at some point you're gonna have to do
It
that.
sounds like
yeah.
that sounds
We
like
have
the
to all
easier.
get the real ID.
Well,
Like
that's
by
what-
next
Yeah,
year.
that's true.
Yeah.
Wait,
It was
what do you
supposed to be
mean?
this year. Wait, what do you? So it's.
I need to
this-
get in the loop. What is the loop you guys are
What
all
is
in?
this
in
ID?
society?
Yeah, what's
Do I need to
this
get a job? Is that
adult
what it is?
information? Yeah, I didn't know either until everybody's like, "You have to get a real ID," and I was like, "I have a real ID." And they're
Yeah,
like,
it's not a
Yeah.
fake
Yeah,
ID.
I
I'm
was
of
like,
age.
I'm in my 30s, but it's basically. I mean, I don't know what it is, but it basically you can. It's like a new like. What is it? Someone help me.
I think you can go to
Real
Mexico and
ID?
Canada.
Yeah.
As a it's like you can go across the border and use that. It can't be a passport to go anywhere else.
The enhanced
Right.
ID.
And it's also you can't travel in between states anymore unless you have the real
Are
ID.
you fucking serious?
Yeah,
That's
you
what they're gonna
can't-
make it,
You
yeah.
can't travel like air
Wow.
travel without it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yikes.
So they're making everybody do it, and a lot of like conspiracy theorists are like, "See," and I'm like, "It's not being implanted in our forehead.
It's like a little juice star for your ID.
Yeah.
Have fun.
It's starting to sound like Voldemort's running shit, dude. I don't like this.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I know.
It's getting weird.
Yeah, well, once the real ID starts saying shit on it, like once they get digital and it keeps, like when that COVID shit was happening, everyone was
Yeah.
talking about like, hey, you got to be careful because like at some point you'll get tested and you'll like put like maybe you have a red band that means you're good or bad. It's like at some point like. Are we gonna know everything about people, like every disease someone has,
Yeah.
Tell
every
me,
like
little,
whatever?
little ID juice stars. You know what I mean? Just start
Right.
small.
It's like they
and
didn't
then
have
get
a bad
bigger.
idea. The problem was they didn't do it digitally, so it was there for life.
Yeah.
They tattooed them on you.
Yeah.
Hard to get it off.
In some states, that you have to have a different license plate if you're a registered sex offender.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say speaking
Nice.
of
I like
not
that.
sex offender, but this crazy a different license plate.
Yeah, like in Oregon, I think if you see a black one with the yellow letters, the ones that look cool, like from New York.
That's
in Oregon,
bad.
I think that means you're a sex offender. Yeah.
Wow.
So you're always like, whoa, look at that sick ass New York
Vanity
plate.
plate.
Like,
You got
nah,
like,
that
you got
guy.
like flames on them. Like,
Yeah.
why make them so cool?
Yeah.
It should have like a seesaw on it or something, or
Yeah.
something with a little bit more.
Yeah.
Like baby can never be on board.
Yeah,
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, at least
Yeah.
like Fortnite or something. They have some themes for those guys.
Yeah, we should have it. You should be able to choose your your sexual
Where'd you
harassment
get that
plate.
chrome ID? You're like, well, I raped a kid.
Yeah. I went with the rubber ducky.
Is it like when the defensive end has all the tackles and he gets to put a new sticker on his
Exactly
hat?
like that.
Like
Yeah.
you just kind of have a license plate and they put a new star for every offense.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I feel bad because there's like certain people they get a sexual offense for like peeing outside.
I've heard
Yeah,
that.
just
Yeah.
like you didn't know. It's like nighttime. You're drunk somewhere. You didn't know that like a block and a half away is a school, and you're within the vicinity. And I don't know
Yeah.
if
That's
that really
terrifying.
happens
or
to
it's just
anybody
like
in real life.
public.
or
What is
just
it
in that
called?
movie.
Like public.
Indecency.
Yeah.
Well, here's a question. What if you didn't pull your dick out when you peed? Like, what if I pulled my pants, you know what I mean, like shot through the zipper? It's
Then
still
you
probably
might-
indecent.
Yeah, I was like, I think you might as well just pee your pants.
Yeah,
out.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
and
If
that's
you pee
your
your
own
pants
problem.
by a school, that's
legal.
fine.
That's legal.
That's totally legal.
Nothing,
Yeah.
nothing illegal about pissing yourself.
Yeah,
That's
no.
hilarious.
Yeah.
So if you're afraid of breaking the law and you got to pee really bad, and you're near, just
Just
go,
piss
just
yourself.
piss yourself. It's
Is it-
way better than being a
Yeah.
sex offender. Like,
One
what's
time.
worse, like
Yeah.
a piss pants or sex?
Registered sex offender or just a wet day, dude. I get it. Like chafy thighs, I can deal with that on the way
Yeah.
home. Is it public indecency to go to the bathroom in your own pants? I mean, like, 'cause it's like wetting yourself. Like,
No,
if
that's
you know.
private
But
indecency.
if you went somewhere and they knew somehow they knew you were doing it on purpose and you just shit yourself in the middle of a bank, couldn't they figure out how to
Ooh.
loophole you into like, come on, man? That's
If you were
fucking
drunk,
gross.
then definitely.
Yeah.
But if you're sober, you're like, that's just a poor guy shitting himself.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on, I guess, your attitude. If you're just like, yeah,
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
gonna be like, this guy
Everyone
needs to get
smell my
arrested.
shit.
yeah, if you
Yeah.
cry, you're probably good.
That's why I liked living in New York. One time I had a pee and I peed my pants. And so I just rolled around in the snow and pretend like I was like playing. And I'm like, I'm sweat from being in the snow. And I'm like,
Oh, God.
They're like, but why do you smell like piss? And I'm
That's like,
You're like,
Dude,
well,
just
that's
got on
that
the
city
subway.
snow.
You're like, no, it's everyone else. It's not
yeah,
me.
not
I
me.
swear. I'm
It's
not-
been a dog or something.
I hope I don't burn this joke, but Gabe Rutledge has a great joke about peeing his pants on a field trip in school. And then when he got off the bus, he saw a puddle and he just like jumped in the puddle.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh no. And then someone's just like, hey, why does it smell like pee? And he's like, I'm beginning to think that someone peed in that puddle. Like, what a day I'm having, right?
It's a good idea.
He kills it way better, but you know. All
I
right.
believe that.
Speaking of, I believe he did a better job with his joke than that.
Yeah.
All right, so this is so we were talking about driving and everything. So This is a video. This is amazing. So my brother lives in Thailand right now. He was involved in a small scooter accident, and it was caught on tape.
No way. This is your brother?
Yes, this is that's why I'm excited
Is it
about.
like a big small scooter accident?
No, he's okay.
or what
Nothing
do you
bad
mean?
happened. It's just so
You're like, well, his wife's dead.
yeah, the person on the back didn't live, but they were only dating, so it's cool.
Yeah.
But so this is so funny because so at first I go on Instagram and I see like cuts on his arm. I see him wrapped up, and I was like, holy fuck, what happened to this dude? And then I watched this video and I laughed. I love you, Jerry, but I laughed so hard. So you have the reaction shot on? So just hit play. This happened. The hit happened right in front of his building, so they have it on cam. Bop! Someone hits him, and he rolls. Ah! All right, I'll play that again. Let's roll this
He's
back.
wearing shorts that suck so bad. No matter how slow you fall, you're wearing
right.
shorts.
He's wearing shorts and sandals,
Oh God.
and you can hear the Thailand lady.
I like how you call it a scooter accident. That's like a bicycle accident.
Yeah.
But what are the chances that, like, how funny is this shit though? Like, they caught the clip in the fall.
I love how he like dramatically fell like
Thank you.
afterwards.
Yeah.
Like,
I love that because he didn't know he was being filmed, but it looked like he did. Like the way
Yeah.
he fell, his
Yeah, he's
arms
like-
went up. Oh my god!
How
Like
did he
he's
get this
flopping. Like there's a
footage?
ref
yeah, I was just
somewhere.
gonna say like
Like-
an NBA flop.
Yeah, yeah, right.
He'd get-
Someone goes
that would be
up-
a fine right there.
He
That's
got
$15,000
fined.
fine.
Yeah.
But I just love this. So he's in Thailand and he tells our family, like, I got in a scooter accident. We're all freaking the
You're
fuck
like, you
out.
fell off a bike.
Dog, this is the
Yeah.
funniest. He said someone was blowing by me. Well, someone was flying by me. They clipped me. I was like, bro, that guy
like
was.
breezed by like 10 miles an hour.
I looked
Yeah,
like
their
this-
streamer brushed him.
he got caught in his spoke and he just fell out.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
just looks like a kid who's like
There was-
learning how to like not have the bike have training wheels for the first time. I'm like, it doesn't look that bad.
Yeah, this doesn't look like a bad fall at all, which I
Yeah.
love because this is like usually when you want a video to prove how bad. Like I was skateboarding down the street the other day.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know how to skateboard. I'm a balding man. I don't know what I'm
'Cause
doing.
you lost your license. That's why.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you should
Yeah,
one
yeah.
of those things.
Yeah. But I fell, and I fell so violently. Like my AirPods fell out. Like my
Oh.
feet went up.
Yard sale, dude.
Bro, for real, it was so bad. People stopped to see if I was okay, and I was so embarrassed. The guy was laughing. He's like, "Yo, are you all right, man?"
Yeah.
That's a
Like-
mark of age right there, though.
Yeah.
Like that's how you know if you're like maybe 43, like you cross that threshold when you fall and people don't laugh anymore. They go, "Oh my god," and they run over you.
You
Like,
know
oh,
what?
God, I'm
Yeah,
Good
right.
point. Good
Yeah.
point. Because he was laughing when he ran up. And the worst part was there was a lot of traffic, so it was right in front of the FedEx. So I just sat in front of the FedEx and was like regained my dude for like 15 minutes sat there. No joke. I was rocked.
Do you get embarrassed? Like,
I was so embarrassed. But 15 minutes goes by, you think you're good.
Yeah.
Dude, there was so much traffic. 15 minutes later, whoever gets up to the next light parks their, they're in their car. They like roll down their window like, "Hey man, are you all right?" I'm like, "Bro, who the hell?"
Like
yeah.
I was waiting for y'all to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck you, man.
They're like, do you mind if I post this to my Instagram story? It's really funny.
But I was gonna go to the FedEx and ask if they had. Cause I looked up, I was like, "There's a camera right there." They
yeah.
definitely got the footage of me just. But I didn't get it because I was
Shit,
so
yeah.
nervous. I was too embarrassed to be like,
Yeah.
"Hey, I crashed on a skateboard and it probably
And I'm
looked."
kind of crying.
Yeah.
Do you have video footage of this?
But now I'm glad I didn't, because what if it really wasn't a great video? Like this, like my brother's scooter accident is like, that sounds horrific. You see it, it's hilarious.
It's just
Hilarious,
horrible.
Yeah, there was
You should
more.
get a whole Masilotti family montage kind of thing of you
Yeah.
guys falling off things.
There was more blood at his wedding.
Oh yeah, probably. By the way, yeah, my brother's like he hangs from hooks. He's one of these people, face tattooed,
What do you
gnarly
mean
guy.
hangs from hooks?
Puts hooks in his back. Listen how crazy this
I was
is.
like, tell me more
Yeah.
about hangs from hooks.
This what is it
Is
called?
he a magician? Or
No,
is he-
no, he's a body modificator.
He likes to pretend he's a fish.
Modificator.
Is that a
Right.
Is
modifier?
that the term? Modifier, modificator.
Modificator sounds more legit.
Modificatoring is where you bring car parts to people.
Did he start doing this after you like start doing stand up? Was he like,
Oh
all
no,
right, well, I
he's
need a
12 years
thing
older
too.
than me. He's been doing this shit.
Oh.
He's been fucked before me. I started doing
okay.
stand up because he hangs from hooks. I think it's
Yeah.
It's the other way.
the other way around.
Yeah.
Can
Yeah.
you imagine finding your brother hanging and you're like, "Oh my god," he turns around, he's like, "Oh, don't worry about it."
Yeah.
Just my thing.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
it's my
fine.
thing.
Oh, okay.
Feels
Like,
really
oh, I
good.
thought you were killing yourself. Yeah.
But he asked me one day. He's like, "Yo, there's a beautiful view in Seattle. It's like it's like a tree that overlooks it's like a park overlooks the city." He's like, "Hey, so we're gonna throw." They just throw up these fucking things and they just pull themselves up and they hang from. He's
Yeah.
like, "I'd love for you to come film this." Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I have such a bad stomach, so I was like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." So I get there and it's the guys hanging from hooks. I cannot even look it through this camera lens. Like I'm about to pass out.
Like, are the hooks piercing
Oh,
their skin?
they're underneath.
It's probably
Can
like
you
meat hook kind of style
help
shit.
me
Like,
Yes,
I
they're
can't
huge
imagine
hooks,
that.
bro.
Help me understand Jerry real quick, because I know him personally.
Jerry,
We've
we
spent
have some questions.
We spent some time together. We've had
Yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of conversations. I've blown the guy. And what is it that he gets from this? Why? Tell me why the fuck you hang from hooks.
People say it gives you a weightless feeling, which I'm like, I don't know about.
I'm like, well, yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know. But it's like a
Yeah,
meditative
that's the
thing,
shock.
bro.
Yeah.
That's your body going into shock
Yeah.
from the hanging from hooks.
Hey, just do yoga if you want to be
Right.
like.
Yeah.
You know
weightless.
the-
Yeah, have you heard of drugs?
Cold showers, psychedelics.
Yeah,
But the
there's
people
a-
you meet doing this, he went to Dave Navarro and Carmen Electra's house, and they did a whole hook hanging session at their place in like Hollywood.
Yeah.
Carmen hangs,
Carmen
huh?
did it too.
I'm not sure if she hangs, but
Yeah.
their friend, I think that friend group, she's one of those like she'll give snacks to the hangers. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
She'll bring the charcuterie
know.
board.
Yeah,
the-
yeah.
Right, like after a baseball game, kind of.
Yeah, but it's crazy because I'm filming my brother, and there's like these. I mean, he had these giant Migo. It's brutal. So then there's these two small ones like next to him, and I was like, "Yo, what are those?" And he says, "Oh, those are in case you wanted to try it." Dog.
How small?
I mean, they're
Like it's an
big,
open
but
mic
not.
for fucking hangers.
And so they're just bleeding after, right?
Yeah, but the thing is, you don't bleed as much as you think. 'Cause I can't deal with that shit at all.
Yeah.
Like it's not like, cause dude, these are giant hooks, bro. It's not like
Yeah.
a fucking like it's huge. So it's like, how doesn't your body and your skin stretches so much? Yeah, sorry, it's gross. It's
I didn't know he did that.
Dude, people hang from their knees, dog.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
There's people like,
I don't like it.
Fucking
Yeah.
me up on Jerry. Jerry, we're fucked up.
yeah. So him falling off, him doing this and telling me it hurt. I was like, homie, you hang from hooks.
Yeah.
Your face is tattooed.
He's like, owie, owie, owie.
Yeah.
You're like, bro, I saw a hook lodged into your back. Like,
yeah,
off
but there's
the
a whole,
mountain.
it's a whole scene.
How often
was
does he
probably-
do it? Like, yo, we hooking today? Is it like a once a week thing, or is it like Molly where you're not,
He's like, I just gotta get up, man. I
Yeah.
just gotta go.
Yeah,
I
stand
just
up.
gotta get some hook time.
Yeah, they're like hack hooks. Like the hacks are the people who have like the small hooks, and then like the righteous ones are the ones with like the big hooks.
Well, there are things like that where someone will be hanging from it, like through their back, and then, well, there's one called the lotus where they do the top of your knees, and then your back, so you're like in a lotus, and you're hanging like that, and then someone I saw a video of this. Someone runs and jumps on the person, and they swing with the person.
No, they don't.
Swear to God, bro, it is the craziest shit. This is why I think whenever you think about what worlds you're in, it's like, thank
There's
God.
a hierarchy. There's like a whole like world, just like stand-up comedy.
Yeah,
and just like people who fucking skyscrape and like walk again. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You're just like, okay.
Exactly. It's like there's hook hanging people.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them. There's not
Yeah.
like there's a whole community of people that hang from hooks.
Yeah.
And it's like, but it's like a meditative thing. And the worst part is this is the funny thing at the end. The most dangerous thing is when you pull the hooks out, you have to massage the air bubbles out because that
You
will
get like the bends?
yeah, it's like scuba
Yeah.
diving.
Holy shit.
No, but for real, like that will be what fucks you up. Is if you don't like at the end, you see all these people get massages, and you're thinking like, yeah, your back hurts. So like, no, we gotta get the
Like,
the
no,
air
you'll
that
die.
sucked into our body.
Oh my
Wow.
god.
Yeah, I know. It is-
Wow,
You think-
I haven't had a hard time like just not making a face about something so long. You know,
Right.
some
It's brutal.
things like when you like people scratch their teeth on a fork or something.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
just makes me go, I can't even think
Yeah,
about it.
it's
right.
nuts, dude. It is the craziest.
I didn't know
shit
people
ever.
were doing that.
That's
Did you
when-
guys straight up just not know people were doing that too?
I mean, I've seen it on like Ripley's, believe it or not. Like,
Yeah,
I've seen
right.
things
Thought
like
it was like
that.
one guy did that.
Yeah,
It was like the nail lady.
Captain
you
Hook
know,
or
the
whatever,
guy
yeah.
with like
Nail-
the split tongue. and he
Yeah.
has, like,
Oh, my
lizard
brother's got
face
a split
tattoo.
tongue.
Oh, he does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, those are probably they
Yeah.
probably hang out in the same scene.
Yeah,
the split
yeah,
tongue
yeah.
guy.
He
and
knows
hook
the lizard guy. The
people.
lizard guy's from Albany.
Oh, really?
Like when he
Yeah.
started doing it, it was like a whole thing where like or he's from like the alley East Greenbush, I think. So he'd like go to the mall, and then it was little by little, like he'd have like a green
His home
area.
Yeah.
But it was funny. It was like you could see it morphing little by little.
Wow.
What the
Yeah.
fuck?
That whole world is nuts. One
Yeah.
of his buddies, not to be too gnarly, but one of his buddies, they were in like a gang and everything, and he wanted the top of his pinky cut off, just gone, like boop, just nail it off.
You're like, you got to earn that, buddy.
Isn't that the crazy-
Yeah.
And
Go
he,
work construction for
and
a
he
few
did it?
years.
Yeah.
No, nobody would do it for him because he said they're like, I'll do it for you. I don't know how the fuck you could do this. He's like, I'll do it for you, but you can't punch me in the face after it. He's like, I can't promise. This is like literally like a 400-pound guy.
He's like, I
He's
can't
okay,
promise I
I
won't
won't punch you in the face. It's like you're cutting off his. But it's a weird thing. Look at like I mean, there's a whole thing about like mentally these like people don't want like a digit or they don't they
Right.
just for some reason they see their hand free. Dude, it's like a whole different level of body dysmorphia where like
Right.
you want to cut off and that's it. Then you feel fine. You go like they're sane. They go to like therapists and they're just like, I don't know why,
Right.
but they just
People want to lose a limb.
Like-
There's people that want to be like a plegic of some kind.
Right. I think it's just like a mental like challenge of like your physical body and just being like, what can I put myself through and just know that I can like endure it.
Yeah, maybe it's
That's
like a
what I think.
meditative thing.
Yeah.
They're like
just-
really zen about it.
Yeah.
It's like
Makes
the
you feel,
most-
it's
Nothing.
weightless. It makes you feel weightless.
It's a little less than the monk on fire. It's a cut off your finger. I mean, like
Yeah,
there's
exactly.
levels
Yeah.
to the
Yeah.
Gotta get
meditation.
there.
Tell me some shit I didn't know Jerry did, because like this is
I mean,
all
hanging from
blowing
hooks,
my
bro,
fuck-
is
I
cool.
know,
Hanging from hooks
but I
is
mean, has
probably
he
on-
walked on coals? Has he? Cause
Well,
he's in Thailand. They do wild shit.
In Thailand, there's this. I don't want to pull up pictures because it's gnarly. There's like a piercing festival, and dudes literally have knives shoved through their cheeks like this, walking down the street with like these huge pins and stuff going through their face. Like he does all that. Like my brother can sit there and just shove like a needle through both his cheeks and just pull it out. Like I don't get that. Like if you pinch me, it is the worst.
Yeah, I'm
pain.
like, don't
dude.
fucking tickle
I don't
me.
like
I
it.
don't even like
Yeah,
that.
right.
Yeah, I don't like getting hurt. I don't like even hurting people.
Yeah, for real.
Like, I don't want to hurt
I was like,
anyone.
oh, I like
Yeah.
hurting people.
I
Yeah.
like stabbing other people in the cheek, but
Yeah.
not like me. That's fucking.
Yeah,
that's too
no,
much.
man.
Do you guys
that's
have any
just-
siblings that you feel like you're not that are like, what the fuck is this? Because my brother, like, I feel like I grew up. I'm so numb to it. I feel like everybody's got a Jerry in their family.
Yeah.
Honestly, this is a much different context, but my sister is a nurse at a children's hospital, and so she'll like,
like, saving
she'll
lives.
she'll spend
And
like
I'm
2
like,
years
yeah.
with a kid that's like a 5-year-old
Oh.
till he's like 7, taking care of him. Then she'll just come in one day, and they're like, "Oh, Ethan code blue last night," and she just has to like move on with her
What's
day.
code blue?
It's
Yeah.
like he died.
Died.
Like a kid
Whoa.
she's built a relationship taking care of all day
That's
every day. Like
sad.
she's had a bunch of those that they just die, and then you just keep going to work the next day. It's like. That place would be
Brutal.
so sad
Yeah.
to me. The hospital is such a place of sadness to me. I just couldn't have that be my whole life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess you got to see it different. Like that's why I'm there. I'm doing the most I can do. It would
And
make
you
me
gotta
more.
go to some hook shows to feel better.
Yeah.
You're
Well,
like,
yeah,
I get my mind off this shit.
My older sister's a vet, and she was saying during she went to
Thanks
sports.
for tell her thanks for her service.
Body. What is he called? A body.
Modificator.
Yeah,
modifier?
body modificator, vet, and
Yeah.
a comic. Like your parents are like, I mean, we
Yeah.
really.
Oh, there's some other
did
One's a
Every
doctor,
siblings.
one's a felon, and then there's me. So
Yeah.
Somewhere in the middle.
somewhere in the middle of that. But my sister's crazy. Like when she went to vet school, they had a surgery donkey. She went to St. Kitts, so it's like not owned by
Surgery
America.
donkey?
Yeah, it's a
So,
real
like-
donkey.
It's a metal band.
It gets like all kinds. You get like all kinds of surgeries all the
Yes,
time.
dude. The whole every class gets a donkey, and they do all these surgeries on it, and then at the
Yeah.
end they put it down, but they learn on it. So it's like the saddest thing. These are
Yeah,
all
it's
vets.
super sad.
That's
So-
the
Yeah.
saddest thing I've ever heard. They don't
Brutal.
even like let it live.
My girl, before she went to, she's a doctor, whatever, and in med school they had to do autopsies, homie.
So you had
Like-
to kill the donkey
On-
in different ways.
No,
and,
on
like,
humans, right?
Yeah.
on dead
Oh.
bodies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's
I
a-
didn't know your girlfriend's a doctor.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome.
She's a G. I don't know, but
Yeah.
we were talking about it. She said like every class gets a cadaver, and like the one person didn't want to touch the body, so like she used a bone saw and like she's done the Dexter shit on
and
a
the
body.
Civil War
bro.
fucking doctoring.
So
dude.
every
That's-
doctor that we know or vet has
Yeah.
cut apart animals and people.
I don't think I could
Yeah.
be in the room.
She's a
with
general
that.
practitioner and a psychiatrist, and she's fucking cutting apart bodies.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta
It's
do.
insane.
Gotta do what you gotta do. You know.
Wow.
And it's
Get those
crazy,
A's.
and it's like those because my sister, she's a nurse too, but she was a nurse for old folks' home. So same thing where you build relationships and then they just like die, and then like I'm like, how many people are like dying? Like a day.
You are surrounded by death,
Death.
all
Big
day.
time.
Yeah. And
seriously.
I'm like, how do you just like operate like that? And it's just like, I mean, that's why people need stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
And Valium.
Right. Or when people make fun of shows like The Bachelor, I'm like, let these people have the show. Like
Yeah,
they're
right.
literally
Just
like
decompress.
watching people die every day.
That's
or,
a good point.
That is true.
You
When
know?
Nan gets home, her life is just The Office and 90 Day Fiancé. It's so
Yeah, let her
mundane
laugh.
Yeah.
And you
Right.
realize, like, oh, yeah, like when we did mushrooms together, she
Yeah.
couldn't have a fun trip because she kept thinking about her patients and what
Aw.
they're dealing with. And she's
Yeah.
crying her eyes out. And I'm like, yeah, this
On
sucks too. Right?
mushrooms?
Yeah, oh, dude, it was the
Wait,
worst.
you were like what?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mike's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, you're bumming me out.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
you're really
That
ruining
happened
this.
to me too on shrooms the first time. I did an eighth the first time, which was like, yeah.
Jesus.
Every time I tell people that, they're like, "What were you doing?" I was
Yeah.
like, "I didn't know."
That's insane. I
Yeah.
can't even eat an eighth of mushrooms in
It
general.
it was alarming. But it was same thing where it's like if you have a life that you have like trauma or like you have stresses in your like that shit will like
Pops
come out.
right up.
But then like if you work through it, it's really magical. But it took like 4 hours for it to get magical.
Yeah, it was
And you're like,
rough.
I only have 1 hour left. This
Yeah,
sucks.
I know. I'm, like laughing for 1 hour.
Yeah, you're having the best time of your life for 1 hour, and
Yeah.
that's it.
Oh, my
Good
friend,
fuck.
he was like, "Here's Jupiter. He's talking to me," and I was like, "I am going through every trauma of my life right
You're
now."
like Jupiter ate his kids in that painting. I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poor girl. Yeah.
Do you know what's the weirdest drama attached to being a nurse at a children's hospital is that people get real, understandably so, get real crazy about if their kid is in. Basically, they might have to give somebody news about their kid that they don't want to hear or that they don't like. Or they'll have to say like, or my sister might have to be like, you can't see them right now. And just crazy, like, let me see my fucking baby. Or like, like tweaker parents come in that aren't cleared by the front office, but they're trying to get in. You're like in danger if you're trying to keep people from their kids, Right.
Yeah.
That's like a whole deal on the hospital security super tight.
That is so true. Think about it. We were like, just the fact, like even nowadays, like when I was a kid, you could go in and out of school, no big deal. Parents, people come, like right when I graduated, they started those like ID cards and like sign in and out cops at the front doors. Yeah. So like growing up, you realize like
shootings just started or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. No, but it is nuts to think about the idea of like all these shows I watch now, all these like crime and murder shows. Yeah. It's always these kids that are just out and about super late night. Yeah. So it's like, are more kids getting like I feel like we're way more helicoptery parenty or society now, but it's are less kids getting abducted because of that? Because it seems like there's more, but is it just because there's Netflix now?
I think there's just more television shows and like content that
video games.
And a lot of the times, I feel like a lot of these shows are like the cases are like 10 years or like 20 years old. Or at least the ones I watch. But yeah, I mean, I think it's good that it's like changing because it's like. I'm for me, I'm like, how I'm not dead? Like, my mom used to bartend at a bar, and she's like, yeah, go hang out at the bar. She's like, oh.
Make some friends.
Yeah, no, she's like, this one guy got bit by a shark, and he's like, he's going to take you to the park today. I'm like, Mom, no.
He's only got one arm.
It was a lone
carry
shark.
You and drive, so it's fine.
Yeah, it was a loan shark. He owed him a lot of money.
Yeah. But so many I was hanging out with all these crazy old men, like, and I'm like, dude, that's not safe, like, whatsoever. And I think now I'm like, hopefully kids are a lot safer now, but
yeah, and all those mystery shows I watch too. Like even nowadays, they say 60% of murders go unsolved.
Yeah,
or something like it's 40 or 60, but it's almost half.
I like those odds.
Yeah, you remember when we were on tour and we were going through? It was after the Vegas shows, and we are going up north to Bend, right?
Yeah,
and we're going through that like just nothing part of Nevada, and it's like where it's like for 3 hours or so, it's just like swampy lowlands that you can't build on either side.
Yeah, I remember that.
And like it's like that's just like 4 feet deep swamp for as far as the eye can see on either side, and it's like. It wouldn't be too hard to get rid of someone.
Right.
You realize it's a couple hours north of Vegas. Like, you know how many bodies are out there?
Yeah.
There's got to be a lot of bodies out there.
The one I saw, this kid went missing. Family like thought he just like ran out. They were looking everywhere, but then they like this 20 years goes by, no traces of this kid. People die in this house. They give it to their son. The son's like renovating it to sell it. Empties out the septic tank. Finds the kid in the septic tank.
Brutal.
And they found out the old man who lived in the house did it, and like he was a neighbor.
No relation.
He just helped out. He helped try to look for the kid, and like they didn't even know. Well, they think it was the old man because it was like there's no other really access to. I mean, you would know where your septic tank is and the So like that is like you think about that kind of shit where like this family is just living over this dead kid for 20 something years.
What?
And then you know what I'm saying? Like all these when I see that shit, it's like what stories like that are happening right now that we don't even know about because they're just still unsolved, you know?
Oh my God. Or just every old building, like, Los Angeles or New York, they're so old. It's like multiple people died here. There's no way.
Well, the Seattle Underground tour, they have all those alleys underground because when they built the city, it lit on fire. Like if the city... they built it too close to the water and they didn't know because it was like low tide, something stupid. Right. So when it started coming up and flooding out everything, since it's all hills, they moved the city up and like higher up, and then they had a huge fire that burned down like half the city.
Jesus.
And then they built all these underground things to basically, it was crazy. The basement ended up being the first floor. So the first floor ended up being the basement. I mean, so everything on the street they built above it. So if you walk around Seattle, like by the underground, that was all the first floor of Seattle for a while.
Wow.
And they said the sidewalks, they didn't, before they raised them up, like the streets were up, the sidewalks were down, and all the storefronts, and people would.
How fucking weird is that?
Yes, you would look up, and then there would be whatever, but people would accidentally drop barrels and like these packaging things. Whoa. People would die constantly just walking through like
Wow.
sidewalk things and just get and like
Because they're like underground,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
and that's like half this old city of like Pioneer Square is all these areas, and they're like,
Right.
dude, there's so much
Dude,
death.
this is the spookiest episode of KCP we've ever had. Dude. This is fucking.
We're all like,
yeah.
Yeah.
There's like meat hooks
scared.
and
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
dead sidewalks, all this shit.
Children.
Did you ever have anything weird happen down there?
I mean, it's just the craziest scare. I mean, it's just spooky at night. Like when you're closing up the comedy club, it's like 2 a.m. and it's
Yeah.
like you're underground, you're downstairs.
Yeah.
You know what's
Yeah,
funny?
I remember being scared back there.
Fuck yeah,
and
I
there's
was
like a
scared
show going
every
on.
time
Yeah.
like we were done. I would always just make sure I was out of there before you were, so I wasn't the last one down there. But if I ever had to go down and fetch
Homie.
something, dude, I was
I
not
know,
an
dude.
adult.
I fucking sprinted.
Sprinted.
Dude. I
Wait,
was
did
like,
you guys all work at the same comedy
Yeah,
club? in
yeah,
Yeah, it was
Seattle?
Yeah.
inmates running the asylum back.
Yeah.
Imagine
Dude, it was
Mike's the
fun.
manager and Willie and I do all the other stuff.
Yeah.
I've never been to Seattle yet.
It's
It's
a great
a
city.
nightmare.
Yeah.
everyone would be like, everyone would come down and brag. Like, I stole like $100 from the bank.
Yeah, literally. It was
Yeah,
like,
by the
how
way,
much did you steal today?
We do huge time every night.
It's like, so do the guest spots always do 30? Or is that
Oh,
Yo,
Yeah.
we had such a surplus of spots. Do you remember the time that Willie and I? It's a Tuesday night, it's the callback show, and you go like, you
Oh, yeah,
guys can
and we
both have 10-minute spots. And Willie and I just as a challenge come up with like, hey, you want to do? We can only do each other's material. And you can't ever tell the audience what's going on or break. If you're bombing, you just got to try to do the other's jokes. We each ate shit for 10 fucking minutes. I
Because
have
we
a
didn't
video
like
of it.
fully know
It's
each
bad.
other's material.
You
Yeah.
So
think
we'd,
you know
like,
your friend's
half the
joke?
joke.
You do.
No, like,
but you
Yeah,
don't?
yeah.
Yeah. I was like, what am I, fucking Romanian? I didn't really know what to say.
I was like, kindergarten, this many. And everyone's like, what?
So some girl totally like, you know that I guess there's a thing where you bring like if you have a spot where you bring a girl to like woo her or whatever. They're like I guess in some movie. I know I'm sounding old as hell with
Yeah,
woo.
I was like, woo.
I was trying to think of a
I was
good
like, do you
court
wanna bring
her.
a
That sounds
soda
old.
pop,
Yeah.
too?
I want to see Mike's woo.
My woo. Well, so it was,
Underneath the underground is a woo.
well, the back bar. If you go over to the back bar, like there's the crazy, like it's just like a abandoned area. It looks really cool. You could see like the old underground shit. It's very. Well, I was hanging out with a girl, and I used to bring every girl down there just to be like, check this out, and they'd be like, oh my god, you're awesome. We'd hook up. This one girl called me out. She looked at me. She's like, this is your thing. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, this is what you do to get girls to like. This is your thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And bro, she nailed it so hard. I was like, no, this is my thing.
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
just where I work. And I was like, fuck, she got my thing.
There's like 5 people like, hey, Mike. Hi, Mike. Hey, Mike.
Yeah.
Back again.
On the way out.
He goes like, and the lights turn
Yeah,
down. It's not my
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
This is
Yeah,
not
they
my
come
thing.
back all on.
Yeah.
I like tell the door guy has like a charcuterie board. Like, no, turn around.
Turn around. Turn around. Second use of charcuterie on this podcast.
Damn, both by me though. Fuck. My vocab
You're
is not
getting
that
so
good.
smart though.
You know what it is? 'Cause I bought one earlier this week and it was delicious.
Yeah, you're a little charcuterie, Mike.
Aw,
Do you
thanks,
remember
bro.
that room behind the bar, but up further closer to the stage? There's one room back there that's this dark room that's just like stone underground brick walls, and it's like dirt floor, and it's pitch black in there. But you'd walk in and you could peek in there, and then you pull out your cell phone light and shine it, and it's empty except for just a fucking old wheelchair facing the door.
Yeah, dude, I hated
Oh,
it.
It's the
old
scariest thing I've ever seen.
wheelchair?
Yeah,
It
this.
was like the scariest place. And like, why would you even store that thing?
Why would you
know?
store it?
It's a scary
Yeah,
storage.
maybe just move it into
Doesn't
the corner.
somebody need it?
There's like a coffin next to it. And you're like, what the fucking
This is
what
Mike's
kind of
thing.
shitty place?
Yeah, the wheelchair's my thing.
Yeah.
That's my thing.
Oh, that's terrifying.
Yeah, well, a lot of girls hooked up with me in that wheelchair. No, I'm just kidding.
I feel like girls would go back there and they're like, can we just go to the bathroom? Like,
Yeah, we just hook up in the
Let's go to
gross
a
bathroom.
stall. This is
way
disgusting.
less scary. Oh man, I did hook up with a lesbian in the back there.
Oh, yeah?
You
Yeah.
converted
Older
her?
one. Well, no, she told me she hasn't hooked up with a guy in years.
like, "I'm
and
a
she was really
lesbian."
drunk.
Yeah.
And she followed me.
Oh.
Well, she followed me into the bathroom, which was really creepy.
It's kind of insulting. She's like, I only hook up with women. I want to hook up with a man, and you'll be the best. You know
That's
what I
not
mean?
bad.
Yeah, for years I've only hooked up with women. That's definitely my preference. It's kind of my speed. You, sir.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah,
Yeah.
you come this way. This is a good transition.
Yeah.
I'm a
I like
good
women
middle.
with short hair. You're bald.
You're a soft boy.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. It'll be
Yeah,
an easy transition.
Not too bad. Yeah, that club was gnarly though.
Yeah,
There was
gnarly
drugs
club.
everywhere. You know how many times I've sniffed like stuff, like what is that shit called? Like dust from the wall, thinking it was blow on the table.
Oh,
Because you're
yeah.
just like, dude, look at all this coke that's
Because
right
it was
here.
everywhere. You might just, if you saw white stuff, it could have been
What
coke.
is it called? Like asbesticide? Or?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Asbestos.
Yeah.
Asbestos.
Yeah,
Yeah.
asbestos.
Snorting
Yeah.
asbestos.
Yeah, Owen's Corning doing as best as we can
how
down
about-
there.
Remember at this? I remember this at your place. We were in the bathroom all doing blow one day, and then I forgot.
Oh,
I think
one
it was
day
you-
too, not
yeah.
one night.
Yeah,
it's
one
like,
like
it's like
Yeah.
2:30 in the afternoon.
It was right before we went to Jerry's Meat Hook show. Yeah.
we were going to do some of them. We left the bathroom, and then I walked in later, and I saw some white shit on the counter, and I was like, oh shit, someone left some blow here. So I rubbed it and put it in my mouth, and it was dry toothpaste.
What the fuck?
I was so mad.
The Late Show, they get weird on that Late Show.
And then somebody else, I'm pretty sure it was you, somebody else came out of the bathroom, and they were just had this look on their face. I'm like, did you just try the dry toothpaste? Like, dude, I thought it was cooked. So it got to him. So I was just trying to gum someone else's fucking spit toothbrush.
Ew.
Hey, this isn't drugs or ghosts, but they had timers on the lights in the bathrooms there, and they were too fast. So sometimes you were taking a shit, and if you didn't hurry, you'd be trying to finish up doing the whole wipe thing, and it'd be pitch black in there.
Dude, I'd be like waving my arm.
It wouldn't catch it. Someone had to like walk in to like set it off.
Yeah, I've started shows like that. Like, make some noise if you're a guy and you've already gone to the bathroom here tonight. And one guy like, whoo, I'm like, that's him. Thank you, dude. I was in there taking a shit. I would have never made it out of there. I needed someone to turn the light on.
Pitch black. That place is disgusting. So
Disgusting.
it's probably better to shit in the dark there.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
We got, I haven't really been. Non said the Masilotti men are a sensitive breed. All right, that was from way earlier. Shout out Olashay. And Elliot said, legend has it she hasn't hooked up with a man since.
Not all issues are black and white, Mike, but.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Damn it! I was gonna say I have to cut this one short because we have a pod coming in right after this.
I was gonna say.
Shout out Elliot got one of
his.
his.
Have to wrap up.
Yeah, Elliot got his teeth pulled. I don't know
Elliot
which
did?
one.
His molars?
Yeah, I
not
had no
sure.
idea he had too many teeth.
Yeah, that's
He comes in, he's like, hey, guys,
It's like when he had to like put X. He's like, I forgot to tell them which tooth, so they just got a couple of them, and there's like different random teeth gone.
Has gold teeth now. We're like Elliot.
Elliot with gold teeth.
That'd be
dude.
great.
It would be less silly if I got them.
Oh, Elliot, when you come back, please get gold teeth. I will. But sidebar, my brother used to make gold grills for people. So like there's a bunch of like white dudes in
Modern
Albany
Renaissance man.
rocking around with gold grills.
Wow. Can he still do that? Your brother knows still.
Oh yeah, he knows the guy and the person. You send him your teeth mold. It's a whole thing, bro. He asked me. This is the funny thing about my brother when he's like, "Do you
I
want to do
see
the
his
hook?"
apartment. I'm just like very curious.
He's a gnarly dude. It's just so fun because like there are like grills that are just there. And I remember like he asked me about. He's like, "Do you want? It's only 250. I can get it for like 250, bro." And then you like lisp with them in. They're not good. You know what I mean?
They're not
Does
good.
he like
It's like
vampires?
a football mouth guard.
I feel like your brother likes like vampires and like.
No, but he looks kind. His friends have those fangs. It's just a whole scene.
Okay.
It's a scene you don't really want to
You
be.
know, like you're always trying to trace personally for yourself as you grow up. What happened? What's my trauma? What's going? What do you think your parents must have done to a guy like that to grow up?
You know, there's
that
a picture of my brother. He fell down a flight of stairs, and he had like this giant coconut lump on his head when he was like 2. And I was like, "That's the day."
That's
Yeah,
the day.
that's
Never
the
the
most
same.
attention
Never
and
the
love
same.
He's like,
that
hey.
day, and he was like, "I'm gonna keep putting myself through pain because people are gonna pay attention to me."
Wow, Monterey, what a way to close. That's you know what? I believe that.
I do too.
That's genius.
I do too.
Because my sister was born by then, so he's like already losing attention from the younger sister.
Yeah.
He falls, gets all the attention. Face tattooed, more attention. Hanging from hooks, more attention. Falling off scooters in Thailand.
Yeah.
Come on, bro. Did he even clip you? Did he even clip you? You knew the camera was there. Get out of here.
Yeah, I think
Did
you
he
saw
get
something.
it?
Yeah.
That was the third try.
There's like different takes.
Yeah.
Oh, man. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for listening to the Best Champions podcast. Big shout out to Michael Evans for the intro and the outro. I know you got to get a haircut. You got to bounce.
I do gotta bounce.
Radio Cross around the room real quick. Monterey, where can people find you?
Instagram Monterey M and Twitter Monterey M.
Cool. Evans?
At Michael Evans LOL on Instagram.
Bong bong. Willie.
Instagram. I'm
Instagram.
Willie Simon _ on everything. And then check out Two Dumb Babies every Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on when we get the animation done.
No worries. And if you guys want to catch me, it's at Mike Masilotti. Go to patreon.com. Put Mike Masilotti. We got Best Champion stuff on there, a bunch of old clips and stuff. Follow the podcast. Be sure to subscribe and rate the podcast. We are on iTunes. We're about to be on Laughable. Possibly get a sponsor coming up. I'm talking to them right now, and it's a big one. I'm actually really excited about
Yeah.
it. Not going to mention it now in case they pull out. But let's just say it's a color, and you put it in your mouth.
Color and you put
Big
Listerine?
red.
Big red.
Wow,
Oh.
no, but that's great. That's probably better than this.
Yeah.
I totally jumped on
Yellow,
yours.
mellow
Big red.
Like big red.
Mellow yellow.
And then, follow me at Mike Masilotti. Follow the podcast. If you guys are in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Blue Chew.
If you guys are in Tulsa, Oklahoma, 11th through the 14th at the Looney Bin, I will be there. Thank you guys so much for watching the podcast. Sorry for the podcast. And bong boop, here's your soup.
Soup.